It's why I like barter so much. It's a move that people don't have in their repertoire.
Exactly.
It's how we all used to roll.
It's no longer good enough to just sell me a product. I want to know, are you environmentally responsible? Do you have ethical supply chains? And are you connected to your community?
I was diagnosed with a brain tumor 2 years ago. So we donate proceeds from this book towards Make-A-Wish to support young children and adults with brain tumors and brain cancers. It was great to use barter credits to cover the cost of the printing so that the cost of like $5,000 in printing wasn't really something that limited us from being able to do an activation like this.
My BarterPay coach, who I started with, passed away last year, which was really tough. And I actually went to his funeral because I felt so connected to him. This is my BarterPay coach.
What can I say? Where do I start? BarterPay has been incredible.
That was where my first encounter with BarterPay started. I was calling Leslie and saying, hey, we need roll-up vinyl banners done. We need posters done. We need lawn signs, all of these bits and pieces for our out-of-home marketing piece to support the virtual event.
We need screens, we need videos, we need sound, we need all these things that otherwise a charity like us could not afford. But through BarterPay, we are able to afford these companies. You go to your broker and he tells you, here, okay, call this person. And it's like magic. Honestly, I just cannot say enough about them. They are truly our official partners.
I've got to say thank you. Absolutely, it is such a necessary service for nonprofits. So really, I just want to express our gratitude for coming up with this idea and executing it so wonderfully and really creating this little microcosm within a community that's just out to help nonprofits. So thank you so much for your stroke of genius.
What John and his company have done have created an economic exchange where you can convert your stagnant inventory, your downtimes at a golf course or a restaurant or a movie theater, into BarterPay dollars. It's a way to commoditize bartering. But I think what's really exciting about it is that John and his team are baking social value into the DNA of the company.
Every business that produces something has some kind of overstock somewhere. Especially times like these, there's discounts going on everywhere. Why discount it if you can get full pop for it? It's an absolute no-brainer. It's really not that complicated. It doesn't take long to get hooked. It's a fantastic system.
I get my accounting, tons of advertising, limousines when we have staff functions, cottages, travel. I mean, it's not all business oriented, but sometimes it can be perks for staff too, right? Christmas party every year. There are all kinds of restaurants on BarterPay. Had painting done, renovations, handyman.
I've had people come into my business just because they found out I use BarterPay. Who I never would have met before, or maybe not at that time. I've used cleaning services, audio, visual work, tech work. I've been overwhelmingly encouraged and supported by the team. I love it.
Chicken for hay for a massage, rocks for wire. This is our currency.
The day this car comes up on the BarterPay auction, obviously you saw it and you had to have it.
Yeah, I was at a restaurant and I was sitting there with a friend, kind of just sitting there not paying attention to the conversation, not doing anything, just kind of sitting there comatose, just waiting to get some answer to see if somebody maybe slipped in at the last minute or whatever. And then all of a sudden there was a notification, an email popped up, and I literally, it was like the movies. I jumped up and I was like, yeah, in the middle of the restaurant, and it was literally, everybody stopped and I'm like, what's the matter with this guy?
That's hilarious.
Even before I scared the heck out of the person I was with. And she's like, what are you doing? I was like, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. I just won a classic card. I showed her the picture and she was blown away.
Yeah, that's cool.
But everybody was still like, what the heck's the matter with this guy? Because I was like, oh, I was so giddy.
It's a pretty big list of some of the things you've been able to get. Things like dental and flowers and veterinary services.
Things that you would normally have to pay full price for work out in my favor when I can
right
through BarterPay.
You're basically paying with your own jewelry
instead
of having to pull cash out of your pocket.
Yes.
Right? The math works out great because you've literally done over $100,000 worth of business on the system and received back $100,000 worth of goods and services that you normally would have paid money for.
Right.
But instead now you can just trade that jewelry.
I think that's a huge part of making the business successful. You got to make sure to match your clients with things that they're going to enjoy. There's so much stuff on BarterPay. You want to make sure that the things that are interesting to you get to your desk. And I think the BarterPay coach is doing an amazing job of doing that.
Thank you so much for being a believer and for...
It's not belief. I know how to use a calculator. It's very simple.
Math doesn't lie, right?
Math doesn't lie. So that's exactly it.
Honestly, I don't understand why anybody wouldn't see this as a benefit. And whether it's a scarcity mentality
thinking inside the box. They need to think outside the box. Things are changing. Our world is evolving, and we have to evolve. To me, it's a no-brainer. This has been the place that we've saved financially and grown as well. So to me, it makes no sense not to be part of it.
The marriage of BarterPay and the BarterPay It Forward Foundation is building this kind of thinking in the DNA of the company. If we have more companies in Canada who think intentionally about how they work with the community, this will strengthen Canada's charitable sector.
What I want to really be clear about is the impact that you have as business owners, as contributors to the BarterPay ecosystem. You may never see the impact that you have on a life. You may never actually be able to understand the depth of impact and how it could actually shift the trajectory of their life. Really and truly, the impact is perpetual in nature. That person then can show up in a way that's different, that shifts their path, their trajectory. Their families' lives and loved ones' lives are impacted. Their friends start to see possibility through them, all because you gave something that you may thought was of little consequence, right? So every little bit counts in terms of what you do and how you can pour back into an ecosystem that really serves and honors humanity.
I'm a fan.